Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the Sacred Man Experience podcast. I am your host, Imran Muhammad. Here we speak about the journey of manhood through the lens of faith, how to be strong but also soft, how to lead but also to listen. My beloveds, this week's episode is called Living in Two Worlds, the Muslim Man in the West. Let's start today's episode by explaining the identity tightrope. I want to speak directly to the man who feels like he is living a double life. You are the high powered executive in the city, or the business owner in the Midlands, or the professional in a European capital somewhere. You speak the language of the West, you understand the markets, the nuances, and corporate culture. But when you walk into the masjid, or when you sit with your elders, you feel different and a very different pull. Sometimes you feel too Muslim for your colleagues and too Western for your community. You're caught in the in between. You deal with the subtle gaze of Islamophobia on the train, and then you deal with the rigid cultural expectations of the back home mentality at the dinner table. Question is, where is your home? Is it in your passport? Or is it in your prayer? Allah the Almighty tells us in His sacred book, Al-Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولله المشرق والمغرب فأينما تولوا فثم وجه الله. To Allah belong the East and the West. So wheresoever you turn, there is the face of Allah. Surah Al-Baqarah, second surah of the Quran, verse number 115. Today we discuss how to stop being a divided man and how to become a truly sacred man, one who carries his center within him, regardless of the geography. Value integration and bicultural competence. What many of you are experiencing is a value conflict. Your work map values efficiency, individual gain, and secular logic. Your faith map values humility, community, and divine accountability. When these two maps overlap without being integrated, you experience cognitive dissonance. You feel like a fraud in both worlds. In the coaching world, we use a process called parts integration. You are not different people. You have different parts to you. Different parts of yourself that serve different functions at different times. The problem arises when you segment your life, being one person on Friday and another on a Saturday. This segmentation drains your mental energy. We want to move you towards bicultural competence. This is the ability to move between cultures without losing your core identity. We do this by identifying your non-negotiable values. If your core value is ihsan, meaning excellence, your value stays the same whether you are signing a multi-million pound contract or teaching your son how to make wudu. By centering your identity on values rather than environment, you stop being a chameleon and start being a true leader. The stranger's honor. The sacred model himself, the sacred example of man and woman himself, none other than the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, gave us a powerful prophecy for our time. He said, بدأ الإسلام غريبا وسيعود كما بدأ غريبا فطوبى للغرباء. Islam as a faith, as a religion, began as something strange, and it will return to being something strange as it began. So glad tidings, tuba, to the strangers. Being a stranger in the West is not a curse. It is a station of nobility. The great Shafi scholar Al-Raghib al-Asfahani speaks about the excellence of character, makarim al-sharia, which allows a man to be a benefit to any society he resides in. Let's look at an example of this. We look at the life of Imam Zahid al-Balkhi. He lived in a cosmopolitan era and understood that the soul needs a sacred space. Living in the West requires us to practice khalwa fil jalwa, solitude in the crowd. It means your heart is in the sacred presence while your body is in the marketplace. You are a Khalifa, vicegerent. A Khalifa doesn't just fit in, he contributes. You are not here to merely survive the West. You are here to be the mercy in the West. When you see your life through the lens of stewardship, the conflict between East and West vanishes. You realize that home is wherever you can serve Allah and His creation. The sacred center. My brothers, it's time to stop apologizing for who you are. Here is your sacred protocol. Protocol point 1. The identity anchor. Choose a physical object, a ring, a watch, or even a specific way you sit. Anchor the feeling of sacred presence to that. Whenever you feel the identity split in a corporate environment, touch that anchor. Remind yourself, I am a servant of Allah first. My job is my tool, not my master. Let me give you another one. The value audit. List your top 5 values. How many? 5 values. Now find one way to express each of those values in your Western workspace. If generosity is a value, be the one who listens to the junior staff member whom everyone ignores. Number 3, the sacred third space. Commit to a circle of brothers who are in the same journey. You need a space where you don't have to explain your Westernness or justify your Muslimness. Number 4, the linguistic shift. This is essential. Stop using they need this or they want this when talking about the society you live in. Use we in the context of service. How can we make the city better? This moves you from a victim outsider mindset to a leader owner mindset. You are the bridge, my brother. You are the proof that faith and modern excellence are both one. They are not enemies. They are twins. They are two faces of the same coin. The West needs your sacred manhood more than it knows, and sometimes more than you and I know myself. And as we reflect on this journey of the soul moving through the world, remember the words of the great Maulana Rumi. Not Christian or Jew or Muslim, not Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi or Zen, not any religion or culture system. I am not from the east or the west, not out of the ocean or up from the ground, not natural or ethereal, not comprised of elements at all. I do not exist. I'm not an entity in the world or the next. Did not descend from Adam and Eve or any origin story. My place is placeless, a trace of the traceless, neither body or soul. I belong to the beloved, have seen the two worlds as one, and that one call to and know, first, last, outer, inner, only that breath breathing human being. My beloved, live as one and lead as one. In the next episode, we're going to dive into the physics of prayer, transforming your daily ritual into a psychological and spiritual powerhouse. Until then, stay centered, stay sacred, and remember, you are a sacred man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.